Hey everyone, this is Steve from Stock Market Shark, and as I promised in my last video, I'm coming with the coverage of one of the hottest stocks on the market in the present moment. Probably many of you have already guessed. I'm talking about BAKKT Holdings, or BAKKT. This is a stock or a company that went viral in the last couple of days. It's a very young company on the stock market. It debuted not so long ago. It was on the 18th of October. And since then, it was producing some very volatile price movements, and who knows what's coming next. So that's why I'm here to help you guys to figure out what the future holds for this stock. Don't forget that this is a very speculative investment. So even if it's promising very good use, never forget about risk management and about the fact that this stock was producing very, very volatile waves, very volatile movements in the last couple of days. It was yielding multiple hundreds of percent on specific days, and then on the following ones, it was losing 20–30% of value. So as this stock is brand new on the stock market and we don't have much information about it, I think that the first official report from the company would bring much more clarity on what the future holds. But till then, these volatile price movements are expected to continue. So always keep this in mind and only risk as much as you are able to afford. Don't put all your money into one bucket. So, all right, let's see how I see BAKKT Holdings. I always try to put together the fundamental and the technical side as well, because I think it doesn't make sense to just look into the fundamentals purely and forget about the sentiment on the market, or to just look into the technical picture without understanding what's the driver behind the movements in the stock price. I think I will start with the brief history of what has been going on with this stock. So let's see what BAKKT is doing very briefly. So without going into too much details, we can see that BAKKT is basically operating in a very promising field that is related to cryptos. But it's not just offering a digital wallet solution. We have we have multiple companies who are doing that. They are offering much more, or plan to offer much more. They want to enter the loyalty and reward points space as well, by providing conversion between loyalty points and cryptos, and vice versa. So probably some of you know that these loyalty and reward schemes are basically a huge field. Probably many of you are collecting different points from different companies like Starbucks, for instance, or like other commerce companies. What they would like to do is basically to centralize all these loyalty points onto one central platform and to enable converting these loyalty points into cryptos, basically, and vice versa. So you would be able to make use of them and aggregate them. So I think that the company is much more than that. So it has like limitless potential in the crypto space. I don't want to get into more details, guys, because you find everything on the website of the company. But let's take a look at what has happened since the company debuted in the US stock market. So let's see. The debut happened on October the 18th. And as you can see, the first headline that comes up, BAKKT is falling following its debut in the New York Stock Exchange. It was down around 2%. Let's take a look at the chart as well. So as you can see, the stock was falling initially. And then, boom, a huge explosion happened. A huge explosion happened, and BAKKT Holding is basically flying to the space. What exactly happened in this moment when you see this stock is going almost vertical? And this is basically the explanation behind the movement. Mastercard says banks can now offer crypto services, and its preferred partner for these services is the platform of the BAKKT holding company. So as you know, Mastercard has been issuing millions of credit cards, and what they want to allow is that using the platform of BAKKT Holdings, they would allow the merchants to provide or to enable transferring loyalty points into crypto and vice versa, and also would have the merchants to accept different crypto payment solutions. They're also talking about issuing crypto-based credit and debit cards. So as you can see, there are like many possibilities behind this announcement. So the impact can be huge. I think that no one is clearly able to assess the extent of the impact. What we can see at this moment, that this announcement represents a huge potential for the upcoming years, for the long term, for the next 5-10 years, and a massive growth opportunity to BAKKT Holdings. So just to increase the buzz around the stock, there was another announcement coming on the 25th of October that Fiserv and BAKKT announced a strategic plan to offer crypto services. So it's a strategic relationship between a fintech firm, Fiserv, and BAKKT Holdings. So these were basically the biggest headlines behind the movement of this stock. And as you can see, the stock price has been increasing in multiple waves since the announcement. There are some small corrections, but as you can see, the trend is pointing upwards. I always need to emphasize that whenever you see some vertical movements like this one, you always have to be very careful, because there might be different drivers behind that. So for instance, one of them can be short squeeze. So basically, like, traders who are shorting the stocks are basically forced to close their position by their broker in order for limiting the losses that they recorded on a specific investment. So this is basically one reason why I would be very careful with the stock. The other reason is that BAKKT Holdings is going viral in the Wall Street bets community. So this is always a huge opportunity, but a huge threat on the same page, because basically this makes the stock very volatile. So in one moment the stock is skyrocketing, and in the other moment everyone is dropping it. So you need to be very careful, because when a lot of traders are trading this stock, and presumably a lot of the traders are not very much experienced, because basically Wall Street bets is for the millennials and Generation Z. So presumably a lot of the traders have just started their trading experience. So they tend to like move together with the crowd. So when the stock is rising, they buy, but when the stock is basically falling, they start to panic and they sell the stock right away. So this behavior is able to generate like huge market price volatility. So that's why you always have to be very careful with these stocks. But on the other hand, this represents a great set of conditions, because if the stock has a fundamental story, which it definitely has in the light of the announcements, and on the other hand, there's like a huge buzz around it. So like a lot of traders are talking about it. The stock is trending. The community, the Wall Street bets community likes it. These two conditions can really give a boost to the stock market. So I'm just saying that the stock has a huge potential, but you need to be very, very careful and not to put all your money into one bucket, and also pay attention to the way you manage the risk. I would record a different video on what kind of trading strategies can yield you a lot, given the circumstances around this stock. But before that, let's have a brief update and a price prediction on what can happen in the next couple of days. So as we can see here, if we take a look at the weekly chart, what we can see is that the stock is trending upwards. I drew the trend lines. So as you can see, we are starting somewhere around the 20s, the range of 20, and then we are moving up. So there are multiple waves within this channel, but the direction of the price movement is definitely pointing upwards. What we can see here is that currently the chart is touching the lower support line of the channel. It's basically, it's moving around the support line. It's closely linked to the support line. So my prediction is that it's very likely that the support line is going to hold the stock price, and the price is going to bounce in the direction of the upward limit of the channel, the resistance line of the channel. So that's my price prediction for the next couple of days. So I think that this is a very good entry point in this moment. I think that it's very likely that the support line is going to hold the stock market price, and then the price can start moving in the direction of the upper resistance line, and very likely it can hit a new high, historical high, in the range between 40 and 50s. I would say it will be somewhere around 50K, and eventually, depending on how large the boost is behind the next upward price movement, it can break the 50 USD price. That price level served as a quite important resistance in the previous trading sessions. If the price would be able to pass beyond that value, that would mean additional space for upward price movements. So that would be very promising. I think so. Just to summarize it again, I think that the current levels are a very good entry point. I think that the fundamentals, the technical picture, supports the idea that that this stock is going to hit new highs in the upcoming days. But of course, volatility can be expected. So that's very important. So yeah, I think this is pretty much it that I wanted to cover with you guys. I can go into much more details. Maybe I'm going to shoot another video on other indicators. As you can also see, the RSI is also started to get closer to the lower range. So that's also a promising sign. But I think that what's most important for me, what's the most reliable indicator is the trend itself, the trend and the trend lines. So I think that is a great indicator. So you can start thinking about opening some positions around the current levels. The stock has been consolidating around this level 30, 35, 36, 37 in the last days. So most probably is going to jump upwards from here. I'm pretty interested to find out what's coming next. So the market is opening in a couple of minutes. So I hope you guys you like my video. Don't forget to subscribe and share your comments below. I'm going to come with new hot stock reviews each day and probably multiple times a day. I hope you like it. Please don't forget to send your feedback. And yes, I wish you like a very successful trading session and very good years with BAKKT holdings or any other stock that you are going to buy. So good luck, guys, for today's trading, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.